try to detach myself as much as possible, and it happened today. I cried in a room when talking to a patient about their cancer prognosis and speaking with their family because we're now moving to hospice care. So that means end of life comfort care. And yeah, this is just really hard. I have not done one of these in quite some time now because internal medicine be having me weak, y'all. I be so tired. Yesterday, UWorld was down. I'm like, I've been doing so well with doing my little 40 questions every single day. But UWorld just had to be down. It was down from the time I was leaving work yesterday. So like after lunch, most days I don't be having nothing to do because I haven't picked up a new patient in a long time. All that to say, this is my last day on general internal medicine. Next week, I start oncology or hematology and oncology. So I'm very excited about that. This whole thing of getting one off day a week is not hitting it, especially because my one off day is me going to where I be going. I'll be going home, so church, home to be with family, and then back in the hospital the very next day. Also, I will be speaking at I Am Able's conference on the Influential Women in Medicine panel today. This is my first panel as a medical student, and it's an honor to be called an influential woman in medicine. Like, what? Gagging. So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all come with me for my last day. I try to get as many shots of me on the gig as I can, but let's do it. Such a beautiful day, beautiful day. Oh, you can move it while you're doing it. I like that. Right, so I didn't record squat while I was in the hospital. It's honestly always very difficult to do, but I told myself I would leave by 11:30. That's exactly what I did. It is currently 11:33, and I am walking to Rush Medical Center for the conference and I hate trash cans where I gotta put my hand in it because it's gonna smack back on. Anyway, I'm walking to Rush so I can go be on this panel. And so let me tell y'all about it. It is an influential, that's crazy because you were supposed to let me go because I'm a pedestrian. Y'all be wildin'. Influential Women in Medicine panel, and it starts with brunch. So I did not pack a lunch today. I think it said something like some mimosas, and I was like, what? But for real, it's 35 minutes. So I'm like, let me get here like a little bit before time because I'd like to actually eat. I need to go grocery shopping real bad. Like I ate a piece of toast and some rice for breakfast today. And yesterday I was trying to have scrambled eggs, and when I ate it, I was like, oh, this tastes funny. And what I'm not about to do is get sick. So I haven't had real breakfast all week. So yeah, I'm on my way over here, excited for the lunch, brunch, whatever. And then the panel will start. And then there's like an award ceremony after that. I'm not really sure what that's about, but that's cool. I used to actually volunteer in Rush when I worked at Northwestern. Let me show y'all, this is the hospital. And I be forgetting, like, I'm literally so close to all these places that I used to frequent all of the time. When I was a clinical research coordinator, I would come to Rush like twice a week to recruit patients for our peripheral artery disease research study. So yeah, that was actually the entrance I came in daily, or twice a week rather, because that's what I just said, right? So yeah, but this was my last day on this service, and y'all, it feels so good. The hours for internal medicine are crazy. Having one day off a week is insane. So you're technically supposed to work like 6 days a week. Me personally, I never did that. I always worked 5 days and then was off, or we had like some school commitments, so I never had to do the 6 days. But having to go to school is like still going, right? Like, yeah, I'm not in the hospital, but I'm still like exerting energy for education and academics. So it's just been very tiring, but my flow and everything has gotten so much better. Like I come in every morning and I'll just like first check on my patients, go to the summary tab, see their vitals overnight, see whatever labs they have gotten, whatever imaging they have gotten. And then I go and look at the notes to see if someone has added a new note, like a consult or something. And then I go see my patient, ask them, has anything changed overnight? Did you have any chest pain, shortness of breath, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, fever, chills, nose because you want to look for infection always. And then let me see, what else is it? Oh, and then I do like a physical exam. I always listen to the heart. I didn't hear a murmur yesterday, even though somebody else put in the chart that they heard a murmur. Told the attending, and the attendant was like, but what did you hear? And I was like, I ain't hear nothing. Told them what the murmur was, and they was like, okay, so I'm gonna listen to it, and was telling me a different way so you could hear it. Like if it's a mitral regurg murmur, you have the patient to clench their fist. And he was like, he didn't hear it either. So I'm like, okay, bet, because my senior resident also said she didn't hear it. So I was like, okay, look at me out here doing all the things. So that was that. And so I got to discharge. I had 2 patients. I discharged one of them, and with discharge you have to write a discharge summary instead of a progress note. And with the summary, it just basically gives you the hospital course, what happened, what brought them in, what have you done while they've been here, and what are the next steps. At the end you have a to-do list, so it's always you want the patient to follow up within 7 to 14 days, 1 to 2 weeks for their to-do list, to follow up on whatever brought them in, send medication to the pharmacy or do meds to beds, and put all the upcoming appointments on there so it could be centralized in one point, because we want patient care is important, and if they came in with the issue, you want them to be able to be seen again and they don't slip through the cracks. So that was cool. And then I had another patient. They're not being discharged today, but provided some direct patient care by they having some like ankle and foot pain. So I put some analgesic cream, rubbed that on their feet and their ankles, and that was cool. So now I'm literally on Rush's campus and I'm about to go speak on this panel. So yeah, obviously I'm gonna have to let you know how it goes. And I can't believe I'm literally 4 weeks done with internal medicine. That is insane. Fun fact, I was born at this hospital.
But because I pulled up my seat, that gave her permission to feel like my story might be important. That's the culture of caring. Bedside medicine, and it extends into the community.
Just a little bit to stay inspired, to stay encouraged, to see someone else has done it that looked like them, that came before them. And so I just highly encourage, wherever you can, it can be the smallest things, kindness goes a long way. So if you can lead with kindness and with grace for yourself as well, not just for others, it will take you a really, really long way. Thank you so much.
Oh, God. I am able. Yes. Period. Got that to-go plate, dog. Child. Now I cannot record and walk at the same time. So, leaving the conference, y'all, when I say it was a freaking amazing, it was so amazing. They had me on this panel with two black women who were an anesthesiologist and then an obstetrician and gynecologist. And it was just like, wow, y'all saw fit for me to be on the same panel, share the same space with them, saying that I'm influential in medicine. What? And then afterwards, the anesthesiologist was also like, we should exchange contact information. I'm just like, girl, I already didn't follow you on Instagram and I was sending you a message. She was like, okay, bet. But it just feels so good to be myself. An older woman came up afterwards and told me, like, I'm so proud of you and you are powerful. Like, you speak with such conviction and the things that you're doing. And that really warmed my heart. I like to attribute it to my church and gospel roots of being the daughter of 2 pastors and growing up in the church, but also I'm just very passionate about what I do. I'm very passionate about giving back and mentorship, leadership, and lifting as we climb. So yeah, this was amazing. Shout out to TT for even thinking of me. Why are you watching me as I record on my phone and recording me? Like, what are we doing? Anyway, shout out to TT for thinking of me to be on the panel and recommending them to ask me, because yeah, it was amazing. Today was a really hard day for me. Alright, so I wanted to tell y'all how today just kind of wasn't really that great. And alright, so when I started oncology, I was kind of I've had cancer patients before, and I knew how it made me feel. It made me very sad and, like kind of down. So I was like, all right, you're going to do your best job at detaching. And I don't know why I thought my overly emotional behind could detach and do it properly. This is day 3, and it just didn't work anymore. Clearly, all of the patients that we have cancer, and it's just something to see how a patient can decline so quickly. And that's what's happening with one of my patients. It's like a pretty rapid decline. Us discussing palliative care to discussing hospice care. And for hospice care, patients will go there if they have an expected life of like 6 months or less. At least that's what they told us in classes. And today on rounds, they were saying inpatient hospice care is 14 days or less. And so like the focus of hospice care is on patient comfort. And I don't know, a loved one was in the room basically asking all the questions for the patient. And they just kind of got choked up and they started crying. And that is when I broke. Like, I'm talking the moment they started crying, I just was like, I can't take this no more. And I started crying. I didn't do the whole, like boo-hooing or whatever, because this is their loved one. They've been there for them through the whole thing. And I just met this patient 2 days ago. But, like the whole being overcome with emotions, being overwhelmed. And it was just like a lot. And I tried to just wipe one eye, but the next eye started tearing too. And I was like, wow, this is really a lot. And I just kind of wasn't prepared for that. And then this attending had us do walking rounds on all of the patients. And we had a list of 18. We wound up seeing 16 of the 18 because it was time for them to go to conference and I take lunch at 12. And so another patient with cancer and the family is there. They wanted to talk to us outside of the room without the patient. And just even having that like goals of care conversation, like obviously palliative care, they do this with each patient, who requests it, or if the team feels that they need this, like we see that that's where their treatment is going. We'll recommend palliative care. But at any time, if a family or a patient want to talk to you, like you got to do it. And it's very hard, like just watching people in this very vulnerable state. Like there's absolutely nothing that you can do, and you want to do everything for your loved one. So that was just, I don't know, y'all, like how is this week 1, day 3, and I have 4 weeks of this? I have so much respect for oncologists, hematologists, and oncologists, because this takes a totally different level of compassion, empathy, to be there for your patients when, like, because I was asking a fellow, like, how do you do this? Like, it's so hard. He was like, inpatient is hard, but outpatient, you have the good times too, where patients actually make it. So I'm going to document this whole journey on this service, because today was a lot for me emotionally. Post lunch. All right, so I'm trying to set this camera up so y'all can see me well, but this is the best I can do. I sat in on my first palliative care conversation with the family. It was my team, which is oncology. In addition to the palliative team, it was just them attending from there. And we just mainly talk about comfort and managing the pain, and whether the family wants to proceed with the chemotherapy or not. I like just laying out the options for the patient and leaving space for the family to ask questions, not overloading them with too much information all at once. My primary goal was to have a box of Kleenex. When the family member was getting teary-eyed, I got up and handed that to them. And to me, that is a part of patient care and comfort. Granted, this is for a family member, but still. And the physician who was going over the plan with them, like literally was we were all seated and eye contact was made. They even pulled down their mask so the family could see their face, and just like pausing and not letting the silence be awkward, but just like creating space to ask for understanding and creating a plan with the family. So I enjoyed that, and it's like palliative care is not a rotation that we do. So it's something I'll look into because very compassionate people, and I enjoy it. And now we're about to get ready for the attending to teach us something. I'm not sure what that is. In the meantime, I am doing UWorld because I have been behind, and yeah, I'd love to catch up. So that's today's update thus far. So funny because the resident was like, oh, you all had a long day today, leaving kind of late, because we're leaving around like 4:15. Y'all, when I was on the wards, which is general internal medicine, yes, a regular day is leaving at 4, but like long call is leaving at 7. So I'm like, nah, it's cool. And I also had to get up at 5:30 on that service and be here at 7. I wake up at 6:25, and I just got to get here in enough time to round and be ready for my patients. So I am not gonna complain. I do have something to do. One of the kids I've been tutoring for 3 whole years graduates from high school today, so I need to go home, change my clothes, get ready, then go to their graduation. Super excited. Congratulations! You're welcome. Here you go. Oh. All right, I think this camera dirty. All right, take 2. I have officially gone to my very first graduation of a student that I've tutored. And y'all, when I tell you, I felt like a celebrity. Her parents were introducing me to everybody and giving me credit for the work that she's done and saying that she couldn't have got through high school without me. And I was like, okay, listen, I was just a piece of the puzzle, okay? She did the real work, and she did a darn good job about it. How am I getting to this train, y'all? But yeah, so super, super proud of her. Her grandma even was like, can we pack you up and take you to college with her? And saying that she's had many tutors in the past, but none have held her accountable quite like me. And I was like, listen, I'm gonna lay these ground rules down, okay? And then we're gonna abide by them, because you need to be set up with good quality habits now, because when you get to college and your parents ain't there to bug you, what you gonna do? So all that to say, it was amazing. She's amazing. Life is good. Feels great to be appreciated, but more than that, I'm like ecstatic for her, happy for her growth, her progress. And you know what she told me? She graduated with honors because of the help I gave her in math. And I'm like, you know what? Shout out to the team. And yeah, so now I'm gonna go home. And I got some studying to do, but it was worth it. It was totally worth it. Literally came home from the hospital, found something to wear, ain't even eat dinner. And now we going back. So yeah, chronicles of a 3rd year medical student. I'm walking back to the hospital, and it's a Friday, and yesterday I had asked explicitly, how can I improve on my patient presentation to my senior? And basically they had told me, like, you want to give like a one-liner to, I don't know, like briefly like describe their significant past medical history, and also what brought the hospital, in addition to like anything that's complicated their course, and what's the plan basically like moving forward. So I did that because, you know, always trying to get better, and I want my presentations to be better. So today I presented, and I feel like things went a lot better. And now moving forward, I'm going to ask, like, can I discuss the plan of, you know, the plan with the patient so that they can know, because that's what the residents do on the oncology service. And yeah, the attending wants to teach us at 3 p.m. And then I'm going to head out. I think we're talking about diagnostics, but I need to finish writing my notes and go over how to see if my patient has been using or requesting their pain medication. And yeah, you know, like every day I'm getting better and better. And that's the goal. So week 1 feedback. Initially, I was just kind of like, you know, I've already done general wards. This should be fine, but cancer is complicated, and there's so many different cancers I never even thought about. But as I was walking out today on this Friday, the Step Up senior, which I'll explain next, was like, Vicki, you're doing a great job. And, you know, I really like specific feedback. But another intern told me that my notes were good and he only had to correct one thing. And that was because I was saying that we were tapering down the medication, but I didn't like give the timeline course, which is always important for the next person, because on any service, residents are constantly in and out. I think they do like 4-week rotations. So that was cool. And then the new senior for next week came in with a bag of candy. And I was like, oh, you got the good stuff, like Airheads and Reese's, Twizzlers, Sweet Tarts, all the stuff. And I said, oh yes, and I don't even need to eat candy. I don't even eat candy like that, but I will. And so a Step Up senior, well, first the senior is the head resident, like in charge. And on internal medicine, your first year is your intern year, and you're a senior after that. And so internal medicine is a 3-year residency. So you're a senior your second, third year, which means you are in control over the entire list and all the patients. And so Step Up senior is getting the interns ready to be in charge for their second year, because the year ends like the end of June. So yay, I survived. And now time to go home and study.